Hey guys, Mike Sturgeon here. I'm actually filling in for Shamla tonight. I told her I wanted to give it a shot to help her to reach 5 million people in 5 years, to help raise righteous children in a sin-sick world. And I started thinking about that, and I just kind of want to tell you a story. A few months ago, I was awoken in the middle of the night to a voice that I had heard that had said, "Who is raising my children?" And well, naturally, all I heard was something about my children, so I jumped out of bed, came down the halls. I checked on all the rooms to fortunately find all of my kids sleeping nice and sound. And went through, checked the house, make sure everything was okay. It was about 3:30 in the morning, and it was something that I really didn't expect. So as I climbed back into bed, I kept hearing over and over again in my mind, "Who is raising my children?" And this really, really got to me and really got me thinking. So I did the only thing I knew what to do, and that was to get out of bed and pray. And so I did. I got out and I prayed and asked, what does this mean? Who is raising my children? And I was led to a scripture in the book of James 4, that says, "Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? And whosoever therefore is a friend of the world is the enemy of God." And that, whoa. Just to think of anyone who is a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So of course that got me thinking even more. Well, what does it mean of the world? And as I did some research into it, I've kind of realized, let's put it this way. If you've ever been on a raft or an inner tube on the river, that inner tube or that raft is meant to be in the water. But the longer that you utilize it, it'll start to wear out. You might get a hole in it. It might fill up with a little bit of water. And if you do not keep it up and running well, if you don't patch the holes or whatever, sooner or later that raft or that tube is going to be full of water. Therefore, it will not be just in the water, but it'll be of the water. I believe that's kind of the same thing with us. We are meant to be in the world, but not of the world. And when it comes to the children, you have to kind of think about, well, what is the world around us that they are a part of? Nowadays, with the advancements in technology and the overview, possibly political views that are being pressed upon our kids, do you really know what your kids are watching or reading or listening to? Is it something that is maybe filling up their body bit by bit by bit? Are they things that are actually okay with you morally, or the way that you want your children to be raised? Is it something that you would teach your children? So when I think of, what does it mean to be of the world and who is raising our children? Well, I would have to ask you the same question. Who is raising your children? Because if you're not, well, somebody is. And I know that in this sin-sick world, if we don't actually take the time to pay attention to what our children are listening to or watching or doing, if we don't ask the questions that need to be asked, are we going to be satisfied with who is raising our children? Are we going to be satisfied with how our children are going to turn out. Because if we're not paying attention to what they're doing, what they're watching, what they're listening to, then I don't think that we're doing our job. And I know Shamla's goal is to help 5 million people to raise righteous children in this sin-sick world. And that starts with all of us. Because, like I said, if we don't raise our children, somebody else will. So I would say unto you, please ask yourself, who is raising my children? I appreciate you guys watching. I probably won't be doing this anymore. I told Shamla I wanted to try it one time just to help her out. And if you recalled yesterday, her voice was a little bit hoarse. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys will please share it if you liked it, even if you didn't like it. Hopefully it'll help somebody somewhere. So I appreciate it. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you again. Bye.